everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm running a little bit behind today. Hello. Happy Friday. Yes, last time we had seasonal depression, which we all agreed should happen in summer for vampires, not winter. Crimes, yes, we infiltrated the circulatory system, and a nice talk with Alessandra, right? We ran into Yulia Savinsky outside of her burger shop that she likes to hang out at, and we also had a heart-to-heart with Patrick, and he's totally in love with us now. I'm just calling it right now. And we're also having like a panic attack, like internally, because we are totally gonna get killed by Kadir. But it's been an honor. It's been great. If I hit an astronomical level of bad luck, crashing at Patrick's once more will probably have me turn into a sorry pile of ash he'll have to sweep up at sundown. Yes, unfortunately, we're a Ravnos, so we can't do sleepovers. He has to sleep in a new place with us every night, but he probably doesn't want to do that, like with a broom. But after all the crap we found out about Reynard, I honestly couldn't care less. Oh, we're going to risk the aggravated damage to spend some time with Patrick. I'm willing to risk it, more than willing. Absolutely. Also, I hope everyone's doing well. Did I say that already? I hope everyone's doing well. I've been trying to get my shit together for the last hour, just walking these damn streets of New York. Spoiler alert, it's not working. I don't even know why I told Patrick to leave me alone. I usually keep people close to stop my brain from going to dark places. Turns out, too much me time just lets the shitty feelings take over. And the simple act of putting one foot in front of the other doesn't soothe the anger, the hurt, and the betrayal. These emotions cling to me like leeches refusing to let go. Leeches, get it? Because we're vampires? All that crap, the gestures, the pep talks, our gigs making me think we had a bond, fucking lies. All of it. It just hurts. So yeah, I'm still a mess inside, my gritted teeth keeping the dry tears at bay. Right now, I'd rather... Oh, it's so loud for me. I hope if it's loud for you, let me know and I will turn it down on the OBS. Right now, I'd seriously rather chew off my own tongue than give Reynard the satisfaction of hearing me sob. Fuck all that. Every part of me is screaming for some kind of release. Some kind of release. Hi, Laura. Welcome in. I can think of somewhere where you can get release, Callie. I can think of at least one place. Some justice. I even have this crazy urge to just smash anything about me that reminds me of Reynard. But honestly, what would even be left of me? If that dickhead's already met his final death, I swear to God, if I could find his ashes, I'd spit on them. Sounds good? Awesome. Shit. Who am I kidding? I'm such a pathetic loser. Oh, come on, Callie. Jesus. I'd probably forgive him in a second if he came back, even if he doesn't give a damn, because we don't see red flags over here. Christ, this sucks so much. But it doesn't matter. The dawn's coming up fast, and it's time to settle down for the day. And I could use some company, even if it means potentially screwing myself over by crashing twice in the same place so soon. A shred of clarity returns to my mind eventually. I find myself glaring at Patrick's Haven across the street, my hands still trembling from the shitstorm of emotions I'm barely keeping under control. I know I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be risking my ass, but right now I'm so over everything that I seriously don't give a fuck. Ooh. Knock gently. Not gonna reconsider, are you kidding? Are you joking? We're a bull, gonna chase those red flags. Absolutely, exactly. I'm taking that, Jerry. If you don't mind. I'm gonna use that moving forward in my life. I lift my hand and tap on the door softly. The noise is so faint, it's almost lost in the night. Suddenly, the door creaks open and there's Patrick with an armful of books. He moves quickly, letting me into the safety of his haven. Oh my God, what a gentleman. Come in. The sun's about to rise. Everything is exactly where it should be. Nothing out of place, not even the couch. You didn't oversell it. The couch is definitely still here. I guess it's too old to sprout legs and walk off. He grins at me, a bit too confident in the quality of his joke. I know it's not stylish, but I'm quite fond of it nevertheless. Let's say it's charmingly dilapidated. Would you rather use the bed tonight? It wouldn't be any... I throw my hand up and immediately cut him off. Oh, come on. No. My God, there's only one bed. Stop. You know what that means. No, that's okay. Just making sure we won't find ourselves in the infamous only one bed situation. Callie knows. Callie knows. She knows. Patrick tilts his head, an unspoken question hanging in the air. I mean, you're into all that bookish stuff. I thought, never mind, it's nothing. Believe me. No, it's everything, Callie. God damn it. Killing me. He nods and goes back to whatever he was sorting on on his shelves. I take that as my cue to slip away to the corner of the couch. God damn it. We could have had everything. I'm too tired to speak, which is rare for me. I shut my eyes briefly, fingers tapping restlessly on my legs. It's a futile effort to calm the lingering irritation. My movements only seem to stir it up once more. Care to share what's on your mind? Your thoughts are so loud they practically blend in with my voices. I'll make your voices stop. No rest for the wicked, huh? Just going through my list of excuses for tomorrow night, because, you know, I'd like to keep my head where it is. Are you thinking of anything in particular? Wrong books, Callie, wrong books. No, the right books. The right ones. Callie's reading the right ones, he's reading the wrong ones. No. Whoop. Not really, but I'm just desperate. I'd like to know your thoughts on it, though. The background noise of shifting books and fluttering pages stops, and the couch sinks with the added weight right next to me. The council doesn't have a stellar track record lately when it comes to making rational decisions. However, the web of Josiah's connections is extensive, which absolves you of direct involvement. The council has no reason to put you down. His tone is soothing yet decisive. Decisive? Yes. What happened is not your fault, Callie. I'll stand by you tomorrow. That's a promise. I must look like a hot mess, because Patrick's expression is one of concern, his brow creased, lips parted, eyes searching mine. He pauses, assessing the moment before carefully invading my personal space. A flicker of total surprise crosses my face before I can mask it. His hand moves behind me, and I hear a soft click as he clasps something in his hand. I almost forgot. You'll make better use of them. I'm dying. Confused, I look down to see what he's handed me. Batteries? For my trusty old Walkman that's been a paperweight for the last 3 nights? It's such a nice gesture, but instead of joy, there's this sad twist in my gut. It feels pointless, like all of it. Right now, picking a tune feels as grim as choosing my last meal. Are you sure you're all right? Nope, I'm a mess. Yeah, everything's fine, thanks. I guess I'm not really in the mood for music right now. But I really appreciate the thought. I manage a shaky smile, my voice quivering a bit. He nods, totally gets that I need some space, and gives me room to breathe. I flop down onto the couch, totally wiped. I shove 2 batteries into the Walkman and the rest into my belt bag. Then my hand brushes against the wooden stake, its gritty texture just another shitty reminder of the end I've been dodging night after night. I grip it as if I could scrub away the mix of anger, desperation, and fear brewing like a storm in my chest. I've handled storms before, but this one? It's dark, man. Really dark. Creeping into every freaking shadowy corner of my brain and just sticking there. I grip the stake even harder as the all-too-familiar darkness slowly descends upon my mind. God, we could have had everything. Ugh. Those writers are jerks. Also love them, though. Oh, man. They knew exactly what they were doing. Don't ever stop. Interviewer. When you talk about cleansing New York from the so-called rot underneath, Mr. Fletcher, is this a part of your elaborate campaign to position yourself in the incoming mayoral election? Oh my god, he looks exactly like he looks exactly like you know who. I'm not going to say who it is. But you know exactly who he looks like? You know who he looks like? Yes. It's not about political ambition. It's about addressing issues that have been neglected for far too long. New York is facing challenges that can't be solved by traditional governance alone. I'm talking about, deep systemic problems that require unconventional approaches, like weird cybercars. And we gotta go to Mars for some reason. Unconventional, like claiming you have, quote, enough manpower to clean up the entire city? What exactly does that entail? Because to our viewers, it sounds like you're just a threat of vigilante justice. What I mean by manpower is having the right team with the right skills and dedication. It's not about taking the law into our own hands, it's about supporting the city in ways the current infrastructure can't. But what are these deep systemic problems you're so eager to fight? You're being rather vague, Mr. Fletcher. Let's just say there are threats to the city that aren't as visible or as easily quantified as crime rates or economic data. They're far more insidious. And while I can't divulge the specifics, I assure you that you won't have to wait long to see the results of our initiative. Or actually, might actually be waiting forever. Because I promise a lot of things that I actually can't deliver. Mr. Fletcher, with all due respect, it all sounds like the plot of a science fiction novel. How do you expect the public to take you seriously when you speak in riddles? I understand the skepticism. I am a stalwart believer in transparency and free speech. Except for words I don't like. And in due time, everything will be made clear. Right now, it's about laying the groundwork for a safer, stronger New York. Let's be frank. Your narrative is stirring more confusion and concern than confidence. Are you really suggesting there's a hidden danger so severe that it requires a controversial character like you to step in and save the day? No, I'm not seeing any social commentary going on here. Yeah, me neither. It's not about me playing the hero, no. Have I told you about my satellites? It's simply about tackling issues that have been overlooked for longer than... I'm sorry, Mr. Fletcher, but we're out of time. Thank you for joining us here today. But, this just in, folks. The Times Square Ball's new color for this New Year's Eve will be announced very soon, and I'm sure many of you have been waiting for... Yep. Oh, I want another color. Complete the system chapter. All right. Yes, I do want to end the night. Whee! I want to see how much it hurts that I stayed at Patrick's house. Or Haven. 3 nights till New Year. Patrick's Haven. Morning sunshine. Morning? Is it supposed to be spelled that way? Morning like sadness? Instead of mornings? Is that a joke? Usually the first thing that hits me when I blink awake is this boundless black void staring at me the same way I stare into its perfect nothingness. It disappears in a beat, and all I'm left with is this nagging thought that I missed something important. I never wake up groggy. I'm wired as soon as the sun dips, like I've been faking sleep all day. Not this night, though. Tonight, exhaustion floods in, overwhelming me like a tsunami. I feel buried alive, suffocated under the weight of the murky water. I can't spend another day in Patrick's Haven. Staying here 2 nights in the same week is really pushing it. Now that I'm counting on having the chance to, given what's in my schedule. All right, so are we doing, like, instead of, like, possible aggravated damage, it's just like we're going to be super sleepy? Strangely, I'm kind of getting used to this pad. It's no Ritz, but it's got this vibe of safety that I'm low-key desperate for. Patrick's already up already, and I hate to admit it, but having him around isn't as awful as I initially thought. He's just there, lost in the gritty view of the Bronx, playing with his ring like he always does when something's bugging him. I take a quick look past him at the murky, starless sky. Then a memory crashes in, uninvited. It wasn't long after my embrace, like about a year ago, we had this wild gig out in Nevada. Nothing to get sentimental about, but we were road tripping in 2 RVs, me and Reynard in the lead, the rest of our gang tailing us. Completely out of nowhere, Reynard grabs the wheel and veers us straight into the desert, leaving the others far behind. We come to a stop in no time, and Reynard's already bouncing out and scaling the RV to get to the roof, when I'm like, what the actual hell? He just pulls me up there with him. And wow, just wow, this absolute darkness with a sky so thick with stars it could make anyone feel dizzy, I swear to God. I could have kept on loving that life, drifting from state to state with my gang, my family. But everything's gone to hell because of Reynard, so why do I have to be the one paying for his shit? And why can't I even bring myself to hate him? Are we blood bonded to him? I pound my fists into the couch. Dust swirls up from the cushions, floating eerily in the dim candlelight. Let's go. They're probably waiting for us already. Let's get this over with. Yeah, and there's no point dragging this out and pissing them off even more. Nothing to do but get my shit together and pray that Lady Luck has my back. It's not a real game of vampire without puns, I know. Morning sunshine. I actually love that. I'm actually a huge fan of that. I mean, I assume it's intentional. It has to be, right? I love that a lot. Still, it's hard for me to move. It's like I'm glued to the couch. The silence fills the room with all that is unspoken. Then his voice, soft and almost imperceptible, cuts through the veil. Listen, here comes the pity party. If you're going to start with that, Callie, calm down and hear me out. Just this once without interrupting. The shift in tone, it's enough to make me zip my lip, which says a lot. Look, I can't promise you a rosy outcome. No pep talk either. You're too clever for that. What I can promise is that I'll be there for you and do my best to convince the council to let you go. I just nod, kind of dazed. His words, so raw and sincere, anchor me to this moment more than ever, providing a strange sort of comfort. So, are you ready? Not really. Yeah, let's just go. We head to the perfectly serviceable car in silence. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss this old clunker and Patrick's bizarre attachment to it. I shut the door behind me and slump into the seat, too anxious to fill the silence with my usual ramblings. Oh boy, here we go. My goodness. My goodness. Yeah, nothing else. We drive mostly in silence, which suits me just fine. Guess there's not much left unsaid at this point, and really not much I want to talk about either. Patrick pulls up a few blocks shy of the Elysium and parks in an alleyway shadowed by half-finished apartment buildings. It looks truly desolate. Why are we stopping here? The art hole is a couple blocks down. A little walk might do us good. Clear the cobwebs a little. Get it? Because he's a Malkavian. What do you say? I just nod. Not like walking's gonna change a damn thing, but maybe it'll help me steel my nerves for whatever's waiting at the end of this trek. Ooh. The walk is quiet, just the crunch of snow underfoot and the looming skeletons of buildings around us, their empty window frames like open mouths howling at the city. They remind me of dead trees, all hollow and eerie as shit. It feels like I'm a character in some cheesy horror movie who gets a particularly shitty kind of afterlife. The irony isn't lost on me. Deep in my gloomy thoughts, I almost miss the sound of heated voices from one of the sites. Who the fuck does construction at this hour? Patrick's face grows even more serious than normal. Any stonier, and they're gonna canonize him as the patron saint of grumpiness. Shh, this way. He tugs me kind of forcefully next to a fence and motions for me to take a closer look at the source of the noise. He's fidgeting with his ring again, which is never a good sign. Peeking out, I see three probably mortals in beat-up clothes, chatting animatedly like they're plotting something. Great, a bunch of thieves or just idiots betting who can haul off a T-bar. Big deal. Let's keep moving. Hanging around here isn't exactly helping me. I'm not sure they're just thieves, Callie. As he says that, I catch a glimpse of a handgun peeking out from one of the guys' belt. One of the guys' belts. Belts? Oh, God. My eyes narrow, searching out more details. They're tense, ready to snap. And one dude, he's wearing what damn well looks like a Kevlar vest under his jacket. They could be undercover, maybe DEA on a stakeout? I doubt they're the feds either. You think? Hunters. Probably a scouting party. This close to Elysium? Fuck. We spy on them when the scratchy sound of a radio cuts the silence short. I can't hear the words, but they immediately dash into the building, their steps echoing up the stairs. I look over at Patrick, his fingers busy twirling his ring like it's got answers. Who knows, maybe it does, but so do I. Let's go after them. I'm not sure. Oh, please, you've already made up your mind. Your face screams conundrum loud and clear. Right. I have a bad feeling about this. We should uncover what they're up to. I nod and head towards the building, my every move cautious and calculated. Patrick follows, silent as the grave. Yeah, 2 clans with obfuscate. Clearly they're just sad boys. Yeah, they're just sad boys and they got a gun, and we're in America, so that's like not super unusual. This shit's about to get real. It's about to get real something. We zip up 10, 12, 15 floors in a blink, tailing the hunters, melding into the shadows as we go. The higher we climb, the louder the wind howls, whistling through the unfinished windows. Soon we come to a vast open area that's still under construction and swiftly crouch behind a half-finished wall. The 3 hunters we followed are joined by a few others, one clutching a radio and posing like he's the boss. I'm the boss. I take a quick look around to get the lay of the land and... Holy... Quiet. Scattered among the wires and building tools, there's a brightly lit table piled with maps and a battered laptop displaying a stream of text. Commands, perhaps. There's military equipment everywhere. Assault rifles, Kevlar vests, night vision goggles, and notably a massive sniper rifle on a bipod pointed at the street below. Well, this is called Reckoning of New York, ain't it? I lower my voice to a whisper. We need to get the hell out of here, now. If this is sad, if there are more of them... They are not the feds, I'm telling you. They are well equipped, but all of this screams paramilitary to me. So what's our play? He rises slowly, tense as a predator ready to pounce. Stay low. It'll only take a moment. In a flash, Patrick darts towards the nearest hunter. A gruesome crunch echoes as he smashes the man's head. The rest snap out of their daze, moving sluggishly as if in slow motion, but Patrick is already whispering something under his breath. I catch maybe half of the words escaping his mouth, all of them mundane, direct, normal, but every single one of them makes me want to dunk my head underwater to escape their soft, incessant onslaught. I do the next best thing and just cover my ears, thinking about the best steps to be taken. No, let's wait. Let's wait. Yes, we are being threatened by the good times, and the good times are hunters. The hunters always bring the good times in a Vampire the Masquerade game. Good morning. One of the hunters screams higher and higher until he's practically squealing, head between his hands and eyes bulging out of the sockets. Hot. The other two scramble for their weapons, but don't get far. The body of their tormented companion is hurled through the air and knocks them both down. Before they can recover, Patrick appears before them, rifle in hand, and with impressive precision fires a bullet into each of their heads. They collapse with the muted thud of flesh hitting concrete. Silence falls over the room, the immediate threat apparently neutralized. Patrick's riding his high, barely aware of his surroundings. That's when I spot the last remaining hunter leaping from cover with a taser aimed at Patrick's back. Patrick, behind you! Sorry, I don't want to yell. My shout barely precedes the taser firing its barbs. Patrick whirls around and the needles burrow into his arm, electricity crackling down the wires. He looks more confused than anything. Tasers have little effect on our kind. I don't know how. I mean, vampires don't move. I guess the thing is, vampires don't move with electrical impulses. They move with whatever supernaturally powers the blood. Don't think about it too much. Is my advice, always. But while Patrick calmly yanks the needles out, the huntress springs toward the table and deftly picks up a machete. The huntress. Sorry, huntress threw me off. Because I think I always look at hunter as like a neutral term. Like, doesn't really, like, gender neutral term. But huntress is so old school. Took me out of the moment. She advances with the blade drawn, but Patrick is way quicker. He lunges, grabbing her by the throat, and snaps her neck with a brutal twist. By the time I reach him, he's already cooling off. Shit. Are you okay? I'm fine. It wasn't pleasant, but I'm glad you listened. There was no need for you to take risks. Oh my god. Oh, screw you. Make me sit here gathering dust while you're hogging all the action. He smirks slightly, but there's little joy on his face. The flicker of the laptop screen on the table catches our attention, but that's not the real prize. It's the pile of documents spread across the table. Blueprints and maps aggressively annotated with a Sharpie. A closer look reveals a very detailed layout of the art hole and its immediate surroundings. Dope, 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 dope. Hype, hype, hype. Patrick and I lean over the table, exchanging wary glances. Damn, they've mapped out everything. They know the art hole inside and out, down to the last screw. Seems like they've been at this for weeks. Suddenly, through a gap in the wall, I spot some movement on the roof of the building next door. I might have overlooked it if not for the flashlight beam slicing through the darkness. I spring into action and grab the sniper rifle propped by the window. Sweeping the gun from side to side, I peer through the scope, surveying the entire neighborhood. What do you see? Hunters, loads of them, all over the fucking shop. Several other surveillance squads are spread out around us, all focusing on Elysium, forming a tight net, effectively sealing off the art hole's perimeter. Jesus, it's completely surrounded. Every damn corner swarming with hunters. I jerk away from the scope, which clatters against the rough windowsill. What the hell do we do now? We must alert the council immediately. This is... Just then, the crackle of a walkie-talkie cuts through the tension. I snatch it up, straining to hear the faint voices through the static. All units, take your positions. Lightbringer, confirm your spot. We move on your signal. It's harvest time, brothers and sisters. Drive out the darkness. Over. All hands on deck. Let's teach these fucking leeches a lesson. Over. Sir, I'm scared. Over. I glance at Patrick, but he's frozen in place, completely shell-shocked. Don't just stand there, damn it. Move. We bolt from the building. It takes me a good minute of high-speed sprint before I realize that I'm still clutching the walkie-talkie. Oh, God. Jesus. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Dude, yeah. I mean, I call everyone dude. Or bro. I'm so, like, annoying. I call everyone dude or bro. Gender is just a social construct. I don't have time. You're my dude, you're my bro. Linguistics can be fascinating, yeah. I appreciate English so much because it's so easy to be gender neutral. In English, it is really hard in gendered languages like German. It's extraordinarily difficult to be gender neutral. They're trying to make it easier. They're actually making an effort here for gender neutral terms. So I do appreciate that. Not a single hunter along the way. It's like Lady Luck smiling on us, or maybe it's Patrick's voices who are leading us. Oh God, who are leading? I'm missing something in my brain. It's like Lady Luck's. Okay, that's why Lady Luck smiling on us, or maybe it's Patrick's voices who are leading us unscathed around all the patrols. We reach the entrance of Elysium in no time. I'm fixated on the door, noticing the red thermal light is off, a good sign that there's no immediate danger. Suddenly, I'm shoved aside. I land hard on my ass, just in time to see Valerie's thugs blocking the door. The hell you think you're doing? You enter on my say-so. Patrick reaches down to help me up, but I'm already on my feet, driven by pure, unbridled rage. Get the fuck out of my way! I try to push past him, but he's like a brick wall. Stubborn, immovable fucking object. What's your fucking problem? You go in when I... Before he can finish, a fist with glittering rings lands squarely on his face, smashing him back against the wall. I shoot Patrick a look. He's fuming. Perfect. Oh my God. He punched a guy out for us. I didn't punch him out, though. He's a vampire. We exchange a glance and charge into the art hole. My caretaker hot on my heels. Our entrance stops the incessant debating dead in its tracks. Jaws hit the floor, eyes widen, but the only thing I really notice is the murderous look the sheriff throws our way. I nearly trip over my own feet, but somehow regain my balance. I mean, that's fair. You see Kadir, of course you're going to trip over your own feet. But somehow regain my balance and end up on my knees. A quick glance tells me the room hasn't changed much since my last visit, except for the notable absence of the Anarch Baron. What on earth is this intrusion? You cannot possibly... This is hardly an appropriate entrance for one whose fate is so precarious, Ravnos. All they need to do is listen, just fucking listen. There, the hunt... Kadir, shall we just skip the trial? She's obviously courting final death here. Everyone, just shut the hell up for 1 second. They obviously have a reason. Esteemed counsel, please. You must listen to... I feel a harsh grip on my arm, wrenching it back painfully. Can't they just shut up for one? You both are gonna regret this. What are your plans for dealing with this, Sheriff? In my domain? Unacceptable. Valerie sees them. Enough. His voice slices through the chaos, commanding instant silence. Patrick seizes the moment to push Valerie's thugs off me, none too gently. The sheriff lets the moment linger, soaking it up until the last whisper dies down. Then he holds it a bit longer before breaking it like a vow. You've let your raven fly, Conroy. His words carry the weight of impending doom, heavy with promised violence. You'd better have a good reason for this description. Oh, I don't know what accent I'm doing. Exceptionally good. We would storm in here if, Sheriff, it's... The hunters. There's a swarm of them, armed to the teeth. They're advancing on Elysium. We saw them. My shout bounces off the walls, and suddenly everyone's too stunned to speak. The silence drags on and on. Should this prove to be yet another one of your schemes, Raven, I swear. This is preposterous. There's simply no conceivable way that... You're all completely out of your fucking minds. Just listen to her. Their ears are closed, sealed shut. They're too fucking obstinate, too damn set in their old, tired ways. It's nothing but endless prattle with them, the constant yapping of those drunk on their own authority, blind, so desperately blind to the actual dangers lurking beyond. We're screwed, every last one of us. Lightbringer, the BFB is ready for launch. Countdown imminent. Over. Did the man name this fucking thing or what? Patrick gives me a look, eyeing the walkie-talkie in my hand. Of course. I straighten up and slam the walkie-talkie down on their oversized, ludicrously grand table. The quarreling stops. They're all ears now, listening to the Hunter comms. This is Lightbringer. We're green for launch. Initiating countdown. 10, 9. Holy shit. They're actually going to... The sheriff twitches as if breaking out of suspended animation. Understanding blooms on his face like blood on broken skin. Evacuate the premises now. Everyone go, go. Just like that, it finally clicks for them. But it's already too late. Oh my god. 6, 5. I bolt, no idea where to, just following the mob in some desperate hope that... 3, 2... The last image seared into my memory is Patrick's face just before... Oh my god. 1. Boom! Kaboom! Kaboom? Ooh. Ooh. Isn't this how the game started? Like this? Literally like this? Fairly certain. Or this is how the demo started or ended. I remember seeing this. A desert rave, flames licking the sky like a cosmic joke. I dance as if the fire could burn away the fringes of my expanding self. That Hunter feeling of watching the cam suffer from their ego, yeah, I know. But Ash is just the ghost of fire. Those moments are so distant now, a festival of fire and freedom, but what does... Burning Man? But what does a kindred seek in the flames? Redemption, destruction, or reckoning? Oh, goodness. Reality, dark as the blood I crave yet shun. It tastes like metal, like rust. Clack, 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 like fire, like hunger, like survival. That game we all play, all but flies, flips, fleeting. Here, now, surrounded by the fire of my own disconnection. Is this Patrick? Pixels of dark, dark, oh so very dark. Every bite a story of deception. Every link a chain to another false promise. The digital haze impenetrable, but even codes have their breakpoints. As do I. Callie. Is this Patrick speaking? His voice, serpent slick, sugar-coated daggers wrapped in velvet, the maker of my illusions, the puppeteer, dangling me on a string of silken lies. But... aren't we all mirrors of our own deceits, reflecting back the lies we've so carefully curated, a firestorm of half-truths and whole falsehoods? So what are we if not the secrets we keep? Callie. I am here. I am still here. What? Run. I remember. I remember now. Oh, shit. Could you fill us in? Because I don't remember a thing. Oh, God. I have something stuck in my throat. That's driving me crazy. I don't want to cough into the microphone. Patrick's urgent pull on my arm jolts me from my trance. He's hauling me away from the remains of what once stood as the jewel in the crown of New York's Camarilla. Elysium is now just a husk, its grandeur swallowed by ferocious flames that smother the desperate screams of those who fled the havoc. Thick smoke spirals into the night sky, fiercely tearing at the air around it. I could stand here for hours, watching the whole place turn to ash. Callie, snap out of it. Clack, clack, clack. The sudden close sound of gunfire serves as a brutal wake-up call. Yeah. We launch into a mad sprint. Patrick is slightly ahead, gripping my hand way too tightly. He looks mostly unscathed, just a few scratches here and there. A stinging pain in my cheek finally registers. I run my finger over it and find a deep gash, but aside from that, I seem to be okay too. Whoops. We pass by Arturo, who is half carrying a barely conscious Prince Panhard. He shoots us a hateful glare before sprinting off. The sharp rattle of an assault rifle echoes just behind them. A few bullets whiz by, damn near grazing my ear. We're about to duck around the next corner when our luck runs out. A hunter, barely a few feet away, levels his rifle at us. Goddamn abominations! I recognize him. He's the sole survivor from that mob that went after the serpents. Sansarik gave him a fucking grenade and a decisive order to set it off at his headquarters. A miracle he didn't blow himself to hell. He hesitates, lowering his gun slightly. I know y'all. You goddamn leeches. I remember you. Patrick crouches, fangs bared, poised to strike at any moment. I mirror his stance, ready to spring. What you did to me, you witch! You had me craving, searching for your kind, begging. And you want some more, don't ya? He snaps the rifle up, now aiming right between my eyes, following my movements closely. But I held back. I resisted. You don't own me. My brain's in overdrive, seething, every fiber of my being just itching to see his blood. Not even to drink it, but to shred and tear and make him watch his own heart thump one last time in my hand. Ooh, I could mock him. No one expects the Second Inquisition. I can mock him. That sounds funny. You left a snot trail on your way here, you gross fuck. He spits, then tightens his grip on his weapon as if it'll save him. Y'all are nothing but sick, twisted monsters. We're gonna scrub the world clean of your filth. His words... His words turn into a choked gurgle as a curved blade cleaves him in two, slicing from neck to guts as smoothly as cutting through butter, is it, Kadir? His weapon falls to the ground with a metallic clang. One side of his body flops over first, then the rest of the hunter hits the snow, blood spewing out like a macabre fountain. And at last we see his executioner. What a king! Kadir. I lift my eyes. His blood-streaked face is horrifying, anger etched deep, his bared fangs elongated. He looks right through me as if I'm just another body to slash through, tear apart, or crush like a spoiled apple. Patrick notices it too because he steps right in front of me. We are not your enemies, Sheriff. Kadir cocks his head as if he cannot grasp the meaning behind the words. There's a primal edge to him, an untamed frenzy that seems to feed on something dark and ravenous. My God, tell me more about that, Kadir. And those eyes, those scary, empty eyes, they belong to the beast. Yeah, they do. Gunfire snaps all of us back to reality. Without uttering a word, Kadir leaps into an alley like a feral cat, ready to mangle anything that dares to stand in his way. The moment stretches into what feels like forever. Then Patrick taps my shoulder and nods towards Julia as she steps out of the art hole's crumbling facade with Aisling slung over her shoulder. She hands the limp body to Valerie, who appears right behind her. Valerie hurries past us and slips into an alley. Julia, with one arm dangling uselessly, walks up to us. Her arms seem fine. She's still got her cigarettes. Full pack of cigarettes here. Are you idiots really just going to stand there? No, obviously not. The north exit's blocked and those assholes are pushing in from the Bronx. Conroy, do you know about our safe spot in Greenpoint? I don't think so, no. We only hear the thundering boom a moment after the ground between us explodes in a shower of debris. Frantically, we scan our surroundings for the shooter to no avail. Fuck. We need to split up. You two make for Williamsburg. Someone will pick you up there. Move it. Now. She vanishes into the shadows, leaving only the fading sound of her footsteps. Another loud explosion rumbles and a gunshot cracks as we attempt to sneak away from our hiding spot. That's when I spot the shooter, betrayed by a stray glint from their scope, perched on a rooftop down the street, prepping their next shot. But it never comes. Instead, a dog appears out of thin air and lunges at the sniper. Its jaws clamp onto their neck, throwing them off balance. They stumble and fall off the roof. And just as suddenly, the dog is gone. Who? Can I pet that dog? Whose dog is that? What? Wait, who has a dog? Who is the dog? Who's the gangrel? Is Torque a gangrel? No, Torque's a Bruja, isn't he? Whose dog is this? Holy fuck, did you see that? I did. It might have been a gangrel, although let's think about that later. Who's the gangrel? Is it Tamika? Oh my God. Is it Tamika or her brother? That would make me so happy. Without wasting any more time, we duck into the dark alleys. Anything to get away from this madness. The relentless echo of gunfire fades, now replaced by the distant, mournful wail of police sirens. As we move, my instincts kick in hard, prompting me to sweep the rooftops, windows, and alleyways for threats. There's no immediate danger, actually. The streets are eerily deserted, as if everyone could sense the looming peril. But the air is still thick with tension. We should get moving. Yeah. We run in silence, Patrick and I, our movements synchronized as though we'd rehearsed this escape countless times. We're supposed to be the predators of the night, and now here we are, the prey, driven by the fear of being hunted. It doesn't feel very good, does it? Echoes of agonizing screams still haunt my ears. I can't tell if they're real or just figments of my imagination. As we sprint through a seemingly safe alley, the faint smell of burning gasoline hits my nose. The smell intensifies when we round the corner, mingling with the fading glow of a fire in a trash can. Then I trip, sprawling face first into the slush. I push myself up and see that my hands are coated in a mix of melted snow, dirt, and blood. I look up, eyes adjusting to the dim light. The alley is strewn with bodies, hunters, judging by their gear. It's deathly quiet. Shit. It's like a grinder ran through them. Who? I do not know, but we need to find another way. Something's not right there. Ooh. All right, my dog is... Oh, my dog. We need to find another way. Something's not right here. That's when I heard a strange grunt, then an ominous whoosh through the air. I glance up just in time to see a Molotov cocktail flying straight at us from a window above. Patrick, focused on the carnage around us, doesn't see it coming. Oh, fuck. Time crawls to a stop. Oh. Try to catch him mid-flight. Let's shove Patrick away and we can be the hero this time. I crouch and launch myself with all my strength at Patrick, now looking up, his eyes wide in alarm, hoping to shove him out of harm's way. Despite my smaller frame, I slam into him hard enough to knock him over like a rag doll. We both skid into a wall several yards away, narrowly escaping the flames that are now devouring the alley and the dead hunters. The pungent aroma of charred flesh strikes my nostrils, permeating the alleyway within seconds. I'm gasping, trying to regain my composure. Patrick is already up and looking for the bastard who nearly turned us into ashes. Then a sharp, anguished cry pierces the air, followed by the crash of breaking glass. The hunter tumbles out of the window and hits the ground with the broken bones. Okay. He's followed by a dark, bloodied figure that lands elegantly beside him. Oh, of course. Valerie grabs the hunter by the throat, hoisting him up before biting deeply into his neck. She drinks ravenously, her victim's body spasming under her grip until it finally goes limp, the last twitches fading into stillness. Valerie? She doesn't answer, still on a high from feeding. Without a word, she spins around and disappears into a nearby building. Moments later, she emerges, carrying an unconscious Aisling. Only now do I see just how bad Aisling's injuries are. She's lost the lower half of both legs, her left arm has been ripped off, and her neck is savagely torn up. She's covered in vast, ugly burns. Up close, it's horrifying. You're a natural-born distraction, little raven. Yeah, chaos always seems to find me. I sneak a peek at Patrick. He can't take his eyes off Aisling's wrecked body, like it's digging up some traumatic memory. Yeah, because he was in World War II, wasn't he? Valerie notices it too. She won't be waking up from torpor anytime soon, I'm afraid. What happened? Is this their doing? He waves his hand around the alleyway, gesturing at the obliterated remains of the hunters. No, she happened to be at the center of the explosion alongside Addison. It's a miracle she wasn't instantly shredded. In pain? Valerie shrugs. There's nothing left of him, though we hardly had time for a thorough search. Without another word, Valerie starts to walk away. We're heading to Williamsburg. Valerie stops briefly and looks back at us through her unkempt mop of red hair. Excellent. Then she sprints off, her figure silhouetted against the flickering flames as she vanishes into the darkness. Patrick shoots me a weary glance. I just nod, too wired to chat. Come on, we have a lot of ground to cover. Alright, so Addison Payne is possibly dead, and, you know, that would make some amount of sense. He was in a wheelchair, for God's sake. Can't do a whole lot of dodging in a wheelchair. But, you know, I guess we'll see. Hello. After half-hour march, we take a break near an abandoned dump amid rubble and crumbling walls. I slump against a chain fence, mustering what little energy I have left, when I catch Patrick giving me a vacant stare. What's up? Got something on my face? You were sharp thinking earlier. You're quick on your feet. His compliment earns him a half smirk from me. Oh, it earned him a lot more from me, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'd try walking a mile in my boots. You'd stop second-guessing shit real fast. He chuckles and I join in. We're laughing like lunatics. Get it? Because he's a Malkavian. The adrenaline making even this lame joke hilarious. I guess we both need a break from the endless doom. But the break is all too short. A scream from the direction of the dump shatters the calm. I recognize the voice instantly, and Patrick's grimace tells me he does too. Julia. We rush to the dump, eyes peeled for threats, and only slow down once Julia's voice becomes clear. She's swearing furiously at someone, her voice tinged with pain. Standing over Julia is a strange figure, an older man straight out of a tackier era, snug jeans, leather jacket, and a ridiculous moustache. Oddly, he's also wearing a priest's collar and holding a double-barreled shotgun. Oh, we know who that is, don't we? For some reason, just the sight of, I don't remember his name, sight of him sends a shiver down my spine, making me want to flee. No, that's not the priest that was her informant from the other game. He didn't have a mustache, right? I don't remember a mustache. Julia, ignore me. Julia is sprawled on the ground, a combat knife pinning her limp arm while the hunter's shotgun presses brutally against her throat. Despite her exhaustion, she clumsily reaches for a cigarette with her free hand. Mustache. Her voice is gritty but quivers as she speaks. Be a good sport and help me out. I've earned one last drag at least. You know those things will kill you. Hilarious. Do they teach you that wit in the seminary, or does it just come naturally? His movements are slow, calculated, almost serene as he lights Julia's cigarette for her. Something's not right about this guy. We should... Yes, but let's bide our time. The right moment will come. The hunter's presence is ridiculously oppressive. I can't even move, my limbs frozen with fear. I catch Patrick's eye and he looks rattled too as he fiddles nervously with his ring. Should I run through a comedy routine of my sins while we wait? No need. You're beyond redemption. There's no sin where there's no soul. Oh, Father, I am sinful in more ways than you can imagine. Father, I left the clergy a long time ago. Now I follow a different calling, one that has truly deepened my faith, far beyond what the Holy Sacrament could achieve. Well, isn't that a fucking relief? Julia draws deeply on her cigarette, stalling for time. The hunter watches, irritation flickering across his face, before he suddenly flicks the cigarette out of her hand. I pity you, creature, like so many others I've dealt with. But there's nothing that can't be cleansed with holy fire, and I have just the remedy. He opens up the shotgun and pulls a peculiar orange shell from his pocket, the letters DB, Dragon's Breath, marked clearly on its surface. Consider this an act of mercy. Save me the fucking lecture and just get on with it, will you? The hunter stands, methodically ejects the old shells from his weapon, and prepares to load the orange one. I want to leap up to shout to stop him, but I can't. I'm paralyzed, rooted to the spot in terror. But Patrick suddenly stands, his voice cutting through the tension. You won't do it. I forbid you. The hunter stops as if struck by lightning, shotgun only half loaded, his wild eyes locking with Patrick's determined gaze. You don't want to do that. Don't want to lock eyes with the Malkavian. Leave her. Now. His voice booms, echoing with a thunderous authority that even I feel compelled to obey. The hunter steps back from Julia slowly, as if controlled by some unseen force. Did Patrick's command actually work? Then in one fluid motion, the hunter draws a six-shooter. The crack of gunfire shatters the eerie silence. I watch in agonizing slow motion as Patrick collapses. I'm unable to reach out and stop the inevitable. Hello. Oh, God. Time holds its breath, trapping me in this surreal nightmare where the only truth is the pain of seeing my friend fall. We called him friend, and we want him to be more. I know it. Everything fades to a blur except for that piercing ache. And rage. Whoa, I keep doing that. I keep double-clicking. And rage. Okay. Is he dead? I'll be so bummed if he died. I can't get animalism for some reason. I can only get obfuscate or presence, which is kooky as hell. Is it because I didn't do anything with animalism? I'm gonna do obfuscate because I like it. Oh man. The rogue. Level up one of Ravnos' disciplines to the max. After 20 minutes of pushing through the streets in heavy silence, Patrick is the first to speak. So just to be... Oh, okay. So just to clarify, the hunter shot himself because of what you willed him to imagine? Oh yeah, I do. I do have... right. Chemistry. I shrug nonchalantly, adjusting my hold on Julia. She's limping between us, supported by our shoulders, clearly still suffering her ordeal with that maniac. My god, did I use, did I use chemistry or Fata Morgana to make him do that? That's pretty dope, actually. That's kind of cool of me. Oh, cut the bullshit. Modesty is not a good look on you. I don't fucking know, okay? It happened. I just stared at that guy and really hoped he'd fuck himself up. It's not completely true and they know it. That priest was so full of conviction, this blind, all-encompassing faith, that it was almost more than we could handle. But when Patrick got shot, something I didn't know was within me suddenly awoke from its slumber. The urges pulling at my consciousness were intense and vivid, the visions twisted and dark. I can't remember the details now, but I know that by the end, I felt like I could taste the sanity of that maniac slipping away. That's what Julia witnessed and Patrick missed. The hunter was battling his own demons, shouting madly at things only he could see, to the point where he gouged out his own eyes to escape his visions. Amazing. Hot. And when that didn't work, he placed his chin against the barrel of his shotgun and pulled the trigger, his head erupting in a blaze of fire and shrapnel. Those had to be phosphorus shells, the way what was left of him burned with bright, terrifying flames. But they don't need to learn the behind-the-scenes of it all. Callie, that's twice you've saved us tonight. I'm at a loss for words. Yeah, whatever, don't sweat it. Look at you two and your domestic bliss. Disgusting. Move it, we're nearly there. I love her. We accompanied Julia all the way to Williamsburg without any further trouble. But as we reach the safe house, instead of relief, a new kind of unease raises the hair on my neck. Like I've just made a grave mistake. Oopsies. Whoopsies. Whoopsie-doo-dah. And there's the knife twist, yeah. Nadir. We made it. I don't know how, but we did. And now let the chips fall where they may. Bow. Threat decreases. That's lovely. That's nice for us. By the moment we lurch through the door to the temporary Elysium, I'm totally worn out. Julia practically slides off my shoulders and crumples to the floor, while I crouch down next to her and put my head between my knees. While I try to calm the panic that's kept me going the past few hours, she moves her only working arm, pulls out a packet of smokes, and tries to retrieve a cigarette from it. Fruitlessly, I might add. Ah, shit. Give me a hand here, will you? Wordlessly, I place a cigarette between her lips and light it up. She takes a long drag, staring vacantly at the ceiling. Patrick limps over, gives me a comforting pat on the shoulder, and then plops down beside me. We're all simply exhausted. So much has happened, so much has changed. So much has gone to shit. More and more people trickle in, bringing news and hushed whispers. Most of the assembled kindred managed to escape just before the explosion hit. Some are injured, some more than others, but in the end, they got away just fine. Prince Panhard got it rough, though. I mean, she's still in one piece and conscious, which is more than can be said about Aisling, but her injuries are pretty severe. She'll need a few days to fully recover, but should be back on her feet soon. Aisling, however, well, her wounds are critical, and it's unclear how long it'll take for her to emerge from torpor. Meanwhile, Addison Payne and his servant are nowhere to be found. His abandoned wheelchair is the only clue they left behind. There's a rising commotion in the background, but I don't even feel like lifting my head to see what it's all about. The sounds reach my ears as if my head has been plunged underwater. I only realize that something's wrong when Patrick gets up and limps over to a couple of kindred having a heated argument, his arms raised in a pacifying gesture which, by now, he should know hardly ever works. Fucking hell. The absolute last thing we need is a pointless kindred scuffle. I'm about to drag myself up to go make sure Patrick keeps his head attached to his shoulders and his teeth where they belong when the door opens with a loud thud. Cut it out, all of you. Silence engulfs the room. Only Julia, unperturbed, takes another drag of her cigarette and lazily expels the smoke. Kadir and was it Valeria? Valerie stride into the temporary shelter looking like they've been through hell. They're covered in blood, clothes dirty, and ripped in places. But while multiple gashes and scratches mark their skin, they seem relatively unharmed. Fuck it, we ball. Yep. That should be every kindred's motto. Kadir moves to the middle of the room, standing tall with his shoulders squared and jaw set. Every conscious eye follows him with hawkish attention. Hawkish. Our counterattack was successful. We managed to rout the remaining assailants with no further losses. Valerie joins him, standing at attention, hands clasped behind her back. We were not followed to this location, and since this Elysium is newly established, its whereabouts remains secret. Rest assured, we are secure here for the time being. Kadir surveys the room with a stern gaze, his brow furrowed, and furrowing even deeper when he sees Patrick and me. For now, however, he barks out an order to one of his hounds. You, give me complete status report on everything that occurred in our absence. Yes, Sheriff. He gives a brief summary of what's happened during Kadir and Valerie's murderous rampage, including a tally of the final dead and the wounded. Kadir remains unmoved throughout, rooted to the spot in this weird manner where he seems to be held back by the very fury that yearns to propel him forward. This is what, the third time I'm seeing him in my unlife, and I've never been more certain. Kadir is the most terrifying kindred I have ever met. Yes! And he's a baby girl. I'd rather claw my way... Ignore me. Through a mile of bricks than be stuck in a room alone with him. Hashtag can't relate. Shake it off. I'm not... No. Just let Kadir do what he wants to do. We don't need to sense this beast. I can't let his aura get to me. Not after what I've been through tonight. Leave him alone. Ooh, my... the sun is peeking into my room and hitting my green screen. So enjoy that weird background thing that's happening. I think I might just be too tired to get properly scared. But then Kadir snaps his head at me and his eyes narrow to savage slits, and suddenly I discover I still have enough energy to get absolutely terrified. That'll be enough. The hound clamps his mouth shut mid-word. Prince Panhard is in no condition to continue tonight. We'll wait the day out here and plan our next steps come nightfall. Any objections? His tone invites none, and none are raised. The kindred start to slowly filter out, looking for a place to bunk down. I tug at Patrick's sleeve. I think that's our cue to leave. Indeed, let's not so fast. In the blink of an eye, he steps right into our path, and even though Patrick is just as tall, Kadir towers over us both, his mere shadow smothering us in its embrace. He tosses us a look sharper than his blade. Ugh. Your arrival right before the attack seems far too miraculous for my liking. Crossing the threshold of exhaustion into extreme irritability, I bristle at his words against my better judgment. What's that supposed to mean? We literally saved your asses. Perhaps, or perhaps not. We will sort that out tomorrow night. For now, I've got just the right resting place for you. You, take them to the basement cell. A cell? You can't be serious. One look from the sheriff is enough to silence me. Neither of us oh my god, they're gonna lock us in together. Oh, oh no! Neither of us protest as we're escorted down into a clean, unused cell. We do, however, exchange a few whispers. Any brilliant plans to get us out of this mess without landing straight into another one, preferably? He just sighs wearily. Why don't we save the bickering for the evening? I really need rest, and you should get some too. How the hell am I supposed to rest with this fucked up dream playing on loop? No need to be dramatic, Callie. We survived the apocalypse tonight. How much worse can it get? Don't ever say that. How much indeed. At least the cell is sunproof. That's one less thing to worry about. A few days ago. It can always get worse, right? Right? Oh, hello. Hello. A few more sips, Addison. There, done. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? Ugh. Look at you getting all relaxed. Think of it as chamomile tea. Nobody drinks it for the flavor, really. Wheeze. Must be tough, sipping on blood that's so far below your standards, especially when it's not from your dear circulatory system. But hey, our supplier went the extra mile to make sure it's palatable enough for you. I've been told finding your type with just the right resonance is a bit of a task. It's got to tick all the boxes for us both, after all. What the hell? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm afraid we must continue this charade a little while longer. We have big plans for you, Addison. Big plans indeed. What? What's happening? All right, game saved. We've hit 6 o'clock. My throat is dying. I could do about an hour. I used to be able to do 90 minutes. I used to be real good and be able to do 90 minutes. I've hit Book of Hungry Names, wiped my voice out, and I can do an hour before I start getting tired. So no, we didn't finish the game. Hopefully we can finish it next week in the beginnings of Month of Darkness before things get real crazy, start popping off. Thank you so much for joining me and providing the commentary. It's always a great time. We survived the hunters blowing up Elysium. That was pretty dope. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. I hope you're looking forward to Month of Darkness coming next week. A lot of really cool, awesome stuff. Stay tuned. Check out the Discord and our socials to stay up on it. And yeah, have an amazing